Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on Starting 11, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the highest paid players in Europe. I say Europe because I do have plans to make a video based on the Saudi League because all their players make significantly much more than players in Europe, so I thought it'd be best to make two separate videos. Just a reminder for everyone, we're trying to reach 1000 subscribers by the end of 2025, so please help us in achieving our goal. Today's formation is a 4-3-3 with a CDM. Starting with the goalkeeper as usual, it's current Bayern and German international Manuel Neuer, who is currently earning 337k a week. Neuer has been at Bayern for 14 years, so he's gone through quite a few contract extensions, and because of how good he was, he would have been in demand from other clubs, so Bayern had to pay him a lot to keep a hold of him. However, would I say 337k a week is worth it for the 39-year-old? For me personally, no, because Neuer recently has become quite injury prone and a bit less reliable. He still is world class, but not 337k a week worthy. If this was 4 or 5 seasons ago, it would have been worth it for sure. Neuer takes the goalkeeper position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. In the right back position is current Real Madrid and England international, Trent Alexander-Arnold. It feels weird calling him a Real Madrid player. Maybe that's something I'll get used to later on, but for the time being, it feels weird. Trent earns 232k a week at Real Madrid, making him the club's 5th highest earner. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 26-year-old 232k a week? Yes, I do think it's worth it. He's entering his prime years, has a good amount of years left in him, and arguably the best right back in the world. So for me, paying Trent that much is worth it. Trent takes the right back position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. In the right centre back position is current Liverpool and Netherlands international Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk earns 400k a week at Liverpool, making him the club's highest earner alongside Salah, both earning the same amount. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 34-year-old 400k a week? Yes, I do think it's worth it. He's been the best centre back in the world and is still going very strong, so for me paying Van Dijk that much is worth it. It's also been a couple of extensions, and now, being as good as Van Dijk is, he is bound to demand more. He had a lot of other European clubs after him, so it makes sense that he demanded 400k a week and Liverpool paid it. He is the main man at the back for Liverpool, and he takes the right centre back position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. In the left centre back position is current Real Madrid and Austrian international David Alaba. Alaba earns 361k a week at Real Madrid, making him the second highest paid player at the club. Honestly, this game is a shock for me. 361k a week for Alaba. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 33-year-old that much? No, I don't think it's worth it. He is a very good player, but he's been too injury prone. When he first signed, it did make sense for him to be paid this much, considering how good he was at Bayern and he was entering his prime years. But how it's gone, it's just not worth it. He can't stay fit, he's barely kicked the ball for them in the last 2 years, so for me, paying him this amount is not worth it. Alaba takes the left centre back position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. Completing the back line at left back is current Bayern Munich and Canadian international Alphonso Davies. Davies earns 241k a week at Bayern Munich, making him the club's 5th highest earner. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 24-year-old 241k a week? Yes, I do think it's worth it. He's entering his prime years, and they managed to somehow keep him despite Madrid interest, and he's arguably the best left back in the world. We've seen in recent years how players are willing to leave their club on a free, so for him to only stay for 241k a week, considering it's Real Madrid as well, it shocked me, so I do think it's worth it to pay him that amount. Davies takes the left back position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. Moving on to the midfield, and in the CDM position is current Manchester United and Brazilian international Casemiro. Casemiro earns 350k a week at Manchester United, making him the club's highest earner. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 33-year-old 350k a week? No chance. I don't think it's worth it. He's not been his best in the last 2 seasons. He was good in his first year, but he's been way too inconsistent since then, and he's clearly out of his prime. He's not even a nailed-on starter, yet he's the club's highest earner. World-class player in his prime, but not worth it for me as of right now. Casemiro takes the CDM position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. In the right central midfield position is current Bayern Munich and German international Joshua Kimmich. Kimmich earns 321k a week at Bayern, making him the club's 3rd highest earner. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 30-year-old 321k a week? Yes, I do think it's worth it, because Kimmich is consistent, reliable, versatile, gives it his all, and a leader in the dressing room. He's also very technically gifted. A complete midfielder, to be honest. Kimmich takes the right central midfield position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. Completing the midfield in the left central midfield position is current Real Madrid and England international Jude Bellingham. How much does he play for his age, by the way? Bellingham earns 334k a week at Real Madrid, making him the club's fourth highest earner. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 22-year-old 334k a week? Yes, I do think it's worth it. Because he's world class, he's very complete, a leader in the dressing room, and also very young. But he plays as if he's 30. He also has plenty of years ahead of him. Bellingham takes the right central midfield position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. Moving on to the attack, and starting with the right winger is current Liverpool and Egyptian international Mohamed Salah. Salah earns 400k a week at Liverpool, making him the club's highest earner, as mentioned earlier in the video, alongside Virgil van Dijk. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 33-year-old 400k a week? Yes, I do think it's worth it, because there's been a couple of extensions by now. He's been the league's best player for years, has ridiculous output, doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, and is also very, very consistent and a leader. So he's very much worth it for me. Salah takes the right wing position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. In the striker position is current Barcelona and Polish international Robert Lewandowski. Lewandowski earns 327k a week at Barcelona, making him the club's highest earner. Well, it could actually be Yamal, but it's not actually clear what he makes as of right now, so for now, it's Lewandowski. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 37-year-old 327k a week? No, I don't think it's worth it. He is world class, but Barca have financial issues, and they're paying a 37-year-old who's not even a starter as of right now that much. It doesn't make sense to me, because he's not a prime Messi or prime Ronaldo. In fact, he's not even a prime version of himself. So, yes, it would be worth it if this amount was when he was in his prime, but he's clearly not in his prime. As of right now, he offers goals, but he's very inconsistent with it. Some claim he's only stat padding, and even a lot of Barca fans have turned against him. He isn't in his prime anymore, and there's better strikers out there who would demand way less than him. Lewandowski takes the striker position in the highest paid starting 11 based in Europe. Completing the attack and starting 11 is the highest paid player in Europe in the left wing position. It's current Real Madrid and French international Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe earns 502k a week at Real Madrid, making him the club's highest earner, the league's highest earner, and obviously, like I said, the highest earner in Europe. Do I think it's worth it to pay the 26-year-old 502k a week? Yes, I do think it's worth it. In my opinion, he's the best player in the world. He's entering his prime years, is very consistent, and always turns up no matter the occasion. Wow, that was crazy. Anyways, no matter the occasion. What is going on? Why can't I say occasion without having a voice crack? Occasion. Alright, that's better. Mbappe takes the left wing position in the highest paid starting 11 in Europe. That's the starting 11 done. Now time for the manager. The highest paid manager in Europe is surprisingly Diego Simeone. How does this man earn 25.9 million a year? That's a lot. He is a good manager, and to be honest, he did make Atletico who they are. But with how much he's earning, he needs to win more. And he's also been backed by the board. So do I think it's worth it to pay Simeone this much? As of right now, I say yes. But, in all honesty, if he doesn't win anything this season, then no, and he has to be sacked in my opinion. Time for the predictions. Where do I think the starting 11 with the highest wages in Europe would place in the Champions League? I think they would reach the finals, but unfortunately lose in the finals. The midfield needs a bit more creativity, and the attack needs a selfless player who isn't the main man, like an Ousmane Dembele, world class but willing to track back and do the running. Every player in their primes was world class, but some of them have slowed down, like Casemiro, Alaba and Neuer, so it makes it such a difficult decision. Simeone also, with such a defensive mentality, lets the team down, so I'm predicting the highest paid starting 11 in Europe would reach the finals, but unfortunately lose in the finals. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment if you agree with my predictions, and subscribe, as we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, so please help us in achieving our goal. Thank you for watching.